Let us welcome our speaker, Judy Holt.
Good morning, everybody. I hope you can hear me okay. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you, Trisha, for that amazing introduction. Very generous. Appreciate that. And it was so lovely to meet you and have this opportunity to speak with you today. So as a holistic life coach, I'll just kind of go back a little bit and share like just a minute or so of my story, where I came from. So as you know, I'm from Canada. I grew up in a very, very large farm in a very remote area of northern British Columbia. Right now I live about 4 hours north of Vancouver, 6 hours north of Seattle in the Vernon area of British Columbia. But I grew up way, way farther north, where we had super cold winters. And we don't live in igloos in Canada like everyone thinks, but we almost could have lived in an igloo there because it was pretty cold in the winter. Anyways, this wonderful farm life to have the opportunity to grow up in was wonderful in the summer months because we grew everything ourselves. And I have 6 brothers and sisters, so a big family life of everybody working and helping on the farm all the time, running around barefoot in the grass all day long. And I never realized what a beautiful blessing that upbringing was until many years later. Of course, as a teenager, having to give up time with your friends to work on the farm was never a fun thing. But what it instilled in me was this innate love of nature and being in touch with yourself. Just appreciating all the amazingness of growing your own food and having things that are all natural and organic and whole and not full of preservatives and all those kind of things. So it wasn't until my 20s when I moved away that I had a real appreciation for how many other people I met had not had that kind of an upbringing and that close family connection and those values. So having said that, my values really were instilled at a young age of health being super important, nature, connection, family, and freedom. So hence I was looking for ways to create an income stream working from home and how I could impact people with their wellness. Having appreciated that good health that I was raised with, I really wanted to share that with other people. So that really became my sort of life purpose, to be a catalyst for healthy change for others. And, certainly in where we're at right now in the world, that becomes a super paramount mission. So there's no lack of work to do, that's for sure. So today I want to talk with you about 5 pillars of wellness that have served me very well in my life over the years. So I'm in my late 50s and I do really feel like I'm in my 20s most days. And I feel very blessed because I've really followed these 5 pillars of wellness. They've really made a big impact. So I hope that there's some wisdom there that can be helpful for you. So the one thing I want to talk about first is mindset. And I know when we have health conversations, many people don't think about mindset. They think about, what they're eating and exercise and all those other things. Of course, all important. But mindset, I really feel, is our top one, because we can make a really big deal about a little thing in our body and we can obsess about it and it can become this really big thing when it really isn't a big thing. So, we need to be focusing always about our body knows wellness and it knows how to get back to wellness. There's many bumps in the road in life. We all know that with our health, relationships, everything. But we know how to get back into alignment, especially you beautiful people in the Center for Spiritual Living, because you guys are living and breathing it every day. I love the Reiki song, by the way. That was lovely. Because, with mindset, it just, when you think about it, how important everything is about our daily thinking about ourselves and our body. And I love this quote by Dr. Shaklee. He's sort of my idol, is what you think you are and what you think you do. So, our belief and our ability to heal ourselves really is one of the most important beliefs, right? We can stay in alignment. We know wellness. And we just have to get back into that vibrational state of being well. And on a daily basis, if we have our thoughts in the place of, there's bumps and there's this, and today I woke up with a headache. I mean, we know those are all temporary things. When we have bigger things, we can still minimize the impact of that by going back to that space of being in alignment, being in the flow, living life in a way that serves us, right? Like what works for us, and using intuition, which I will talk about that in a little bit later. So that other pillar in the wellness chart is diet, of course. You know, what we put in our mouth, really, we are what we eat. And we may try to think about, oh, there's, you know, the 80-20 rule or the 50-50 rule. I can do 50% not eating good, 50% eating good. No. You know, you might get away with 80-20, but let's face it, if we get off the bandwagon of eating healthy for too many times, it's really hard to get back on. So really maybe like a 90-10 is probably best. So 10% of the time, you know, maybe Sunday is a treat day, have an ice cream, you know, things like that. It doesn't mean you can't ever have anything that's not healthy, but always being aware of, okay, the farther I get away from wellness, the harder it is to get back. So if I get myself into this routine of eating much more plant-based and holistic healthy foods, my body thrives, it feels better, and I know what I need to put in my body, right? Intuitively, we know. If we listen, we know the ice cream's not good for us. It's just a treat, which is fine. Nothing wrong to treat yourself. But it's doing that too often, right? It's really easy to slide. So anything in your mouth, in your body, is in your bloodstream. So how do we look at what we're eating on a daily basis and bring it back to what our body thrives with? So we know, I mentioned the plant-based eating is, you know, I'm not saying everyone needs to be vegetarian. Definitely, you know, it's a personal choice. Just try to get a lot more of those whole fruits and vegetables and live foods, right? We know if it comes in a package, there's not live food in there. That's not live nutrition. Of course, if it is how it's manufactured can make a big difference. But just being always adding in that freshness every day, having a smoothie for breakfast and adding tons of fresh veggies and some fruit to that, some berries maybe. I mean, what a beautiful time of the year with all the local things fresh. So how do we incorporate the seasons into eating, you know, more about what is fresh at that particular time and eating foods that are growing closer to us? In California, you guys are blessed because you can grow things year round. So that's wonderful that you don't have to go far to get your good, fresh foods. So incorporate that in your diet every day. And I mean, we know this, it's not rocket science, but sometimes we need reminders, right? To just make sure we're getting like 7 to 8 servings of fruits and vegetables in a day. And of course, much more on the vegetable side than the fruit side because of the sugar content. And berries, right? Berries and nuts. I mean, there's just so many wonderful things we can feed our body and feed our soul with every day. So lifestyle choices is the next one I want to talk about. So of course, diet is part of lifestyle. So is mindset. But what are those daily choices that you're making each day? You know, what happens when you first get up in the morning? When do you meditate? Do you have a mindfulness practice? I love to do my meditation first thing in the morning and get out in nature right away in the morning, because those are the two things that ground me the most in my day. But find what works best for you, right? And make it part of your daily practice or your daily ritual. And so, you know, I'm sure I'm preaching to the choir here because you guys meditate and, you know, you're obviously very spiritual minded. So you probably have a mindfulness practice, but sometimes people don't remember that a mindfulness practice doesn't just need to be meditating by themselves, you know, legs crossed, hands in your lap. I mean, it can look like a lot of things, right? Mindfulness can be going for a walk in nature. A walking meditation is beautiful, right? It can be going to the beach, sitting by water, just being still. I call it time in your day to be in the pause. So when you're in the pause, that's when the messages come. That's when our body talks to us. That's when spirit talks to us. That's when the higher power, whatever you believe that to be, talks to us, right? So it's really important to get in the pause state. And even throughout your day, like how do you recalibrate and get back to that in the pause state throughout the day, right? We have things that happen that send us in a tangent here and there and emergencies and things like that. And how do we get back to be recalibrate, get into that state of, okay, I'm in alignment. This happened. That's okay. Again, there's that mindset piece. So how do we calm ourselves down? So just understanding what works for us. And we always feel better if we eat properly and eat 3 balanced meals a day. So not everybody, has that body type that works for them, but most of the time, generally, you're going to want to get up and do some movement first and hydrate your body, and then make sure you're having a good, healthy, protein packed breakfast. I'm a big smoothie recommender because I really feel like you can get so many more fruits and vegetables in a smoothie than you're going to have for breakfast. Most of us aren't sitting down to have a carrot and a half a banana and some berries and some spinach for our breakfast, right? So in a smoothie, you can just pack so much more whole natural nutrition, add some protein powder, and your blood sugar stabilized and you're good for a nice healthy start to your day. So if you're going to have something different, fine, like oatmeal or something, but just make sure you're having that good breakfast every morning to get started. It really is such an important part of your day. And then your lunch and, an afternoon snack maybe. And your snacks, I mean, what's a great snack for you? Listen to your body, trust your intuition, maybe an apple, maybe some nuts, just whatever feels right for you at any given time. I think the main piece about it, though, is that you're not going too long without eating, but you don't need to be snacking all day. If you have 3 good balanced meals and you supplement to fill in your diet gaps, your body should be getting the nutrition that it needs. And it's okay to have a little snack here and there. Just listen to what it wants. I'm a really big believer of cleanses. So I promote a cleanse 1 to 2 times a year, and it's just basically plant based, 100% vegetarian eating for 7 days with some cleansing supplements. And I do that because I really think the body needs to detoxify in a deep way at least twice a year. And, we've got so much gut going on and around us, like literally environmental mindset. Everybody's got these busy minds and busy lives, and it's hard to shut it off. And when we do a cleanse, it's like giving your body a rest. It's in the pause for 7 days, and do more meditation, do a little bit more movement, things like that. So it's like it's giving everything a reset. And hydration, such an important part of lifestyle. Are you drinking enough water during the day? Does your water taste good? Add some lemon, add some fresh lime. Maybe you could try adding little slices of cantaloupe or a little bit of strawberries or cucumbers or fresh mint. How do you make your water taste better? And preferably drink room temperature water. I know it's really hot at this time of year, and sometimes we don't want room temperature, but it feels a lot better for our body, and it thrives better with room temperature water than ice in our drinks. Even though it's tempting to, of course, go for the ice. So just think about that. It's better for our digestion to have room temperature, and even warm tea, like tepid warm tea is still really nice at this time of the year. So sleep hygiene. Wow, this is a big one. So what does your routine look like before you go to bed? You want to stay healthy. Good sleep is huge. We all know how not good we feel when we don't get enough sleep. So, what is your routine or your ritual before you go to bed? Are you taking time to unwind, shut the news off, shut the TV off? Are you reading a book? Are you having a bubble bath? Or maybe you're having your mindfulness practice before you go to bed? What can you do to sort of get your body set up for that restful state? Having a TV or electronics in your bedroom is a big no-no because it's there. And I believe it's emitting, an energy into us, right? So we want to separate that from our bedroom. Cell phones, TVs, electronics, not in your bedroom. And I know a lady that actually locks her cell phone up in a cabinet when she goes to bed at night so she doesn't hear it. It's out of her room, out of sight, out of mind. So just think about those tech limits that we can set for ourselves during the day. And 1 hour before bed, definitely no technology, preferably. If you want to watch something funny, Netflix or some kind of a show that's late, and nothing wrong with that, but it's the heavy things, right, that draw a lot of our energy out that we really want to get out of our routine before bed. So 1 hour before bed, no screen time, preferably, and you'll probably find you sleep better. Also, calcium before bed helps you sleep, a bit of a deeper sleep. So fitness is another key component of a healthy lifestyle choice and a big pillar of our wellness, as we know. So are we getting out to move every day? I'm not really a big fan of being a weekend warrior because that has repercussions if we overdo it, and then our joints hurt and we don't feel good for the next few days. So it's so much better for our bodies to move every day and have that part of our daily lifestyle choice. So find something that you love to do. You know, is it going for walks? Is it going for a swim? Is it, going to a dance class? There's so many fun activities that we can find that really resonate with us. And if we find a buddy to do that with, that's even better because they hold us accountable and we can have these beautiful connected conversations while we're having fitness with other people. So then it feels like it's pleasurable, because sometimes it's not pleasurable to exercise. If we think of it as exercise, like a job I have to do, it becomes our mindset becomes, oh, that's painful. But if you link it to fun, then our mind goes, oh, well, that's a cool thing, right? I'm having a good time. This is enjoyable. Then I want to do it more. So, I mean, it's not rocket science. Our body is always attracted to things that make us feel pleasure and fun much more than things that don't. So how do you attach pleasure to the things that you don't necessarily enjoy? And having a workout buddy is one of the greatest ways to do that. And of course, an activity that you love that you can be consistent with. If you can't be consistent with it, then, maybe incorporate 2 or 3 different types of exercise in a week. But every day, try to move your body a minimum of 30 minutes. And I'm sure that you will find that you will feel a lot better. So the last one I want to talk about is intuition. So I know you guys are all pretty versed on intuition here. But basically, what intuition means to me is trusting your own inner knowing to guide you. Your body can always get back to wellness and to its natural state. And, being in that alignment versus resistance mode. I love Abraham Hicks' teachings, law of attraction, and many other people that I follow. But what I love a lot about what she teaches is just that using that inner knowing to guide you in all areas of your life, of course, relationships, any choice that you're making. But when you bring it back to your wellness and your health, not everybody is thinking about intuition as a pillar of wellness. But I really feel like it is a very big part of wellness, because when we're using our intuition to go, should I eat that food? Should I get up now? Should I go to bed now? What should I do before I go to bed? There's so many choices all throughout the day that we make with regards to our lifestyle and our wellness. And, a lot of it we're not aware of. It's just, a really quick decision. Of course, I'm going to get up and I'm going to have my coffee. Of course, it's 12 o'clock. I'm going to have my lunch. We don't really think about it. It's almost like we go through our day on automatic pilot. But how do we switch that to go about our day being much more mindful of our choices, excuse me, and much more aware of how those choices impact us? So, what is going to be the repercussion of me having this donut right now? I'm going to have a sugar crash in probably about 15 minutes. I'm going to feel really tired. So I'm not going to make that choice. So maybe I'll choose the apple because intuitively I know that's going to make me feel much better. And I'm going to have energy from that apple because it's a whole food. It's a perfect balance of proteins and fibers and complex carbohydrates. So that is the best snack for me. So we're always going to be tempted, of course. That's life, right? It's, back to the story of Adam and Eve, right? I mean, eat that apple. So in this case, I think apples are pretty good for most of us. So just, but recognizing that intuitive side and using it to work for you all the time, right? It is our beautiful gift in our body. And how do we align ourselves with using intuition on a daily basis? And I always think about it, resistance is the opposite, right? And so it's like resistance is the opposite of alignment. So if our body's in alignment, we're feeling awesome, right? We're having one of those days and we know when we're in alignment and we're feeling great. Of course, it's very apparent. But how do we focus on staying there? How do you recalibrate throughout the day? It's always those choices that add up to the bigger picture and being in the flow, just letting it go, just let your day evolve. Plan your meals, be prepared, because if we're not prepared, we know what happens. That's when we tend to cheat. And if we go out to do a bunch of errands and things like that, and we don't have snacks with us, healthy snacks, we're probably going to be tempted to cheat and buy something. So, have lots of fresh fruits and veggies and things like that washed, all ready to go in your fridge. So it's quick to run out the door and take your snacks, a smoothie to go or something like that. But always just remembering that, listen to the whispers, right? And being in that flow of what feels right for your body. How do I be prepared? How do I set myself up for an amazing day? How do I create my own best day? Because we are the creators of what's going on in our body, right? And that's reflected on the people around us. So I always like to think of myself as being a catalyst for healthy change. And we can all be a catalyst for healthy change for ourselves personally, but how do we be that lighthouse for other people as well? And the lives that we touch, because if they see us being a good role model, then obviously they're learning from us, right? They're watching us, and what we do reflects on everyone around us, as we know. So I think I've talked enough about intuition. The last thing I wanted to touch on was your ability to just stay in that aligned state. And we all know we get out of that alignment always. Things knock us off our rocker, so to speak, throughout the day, but just that recalibration of going back and being in the flow. One way that I use intuition before I eat anything is, and of course I cheat, we're all human, but things like I'll ask myself, does my body lean into this or does it lean back from that? And, if any of you do muscle testing, you'll know that leaning in is, like my body wants that. Leaning out is, nope, that's not good for me. So just really being aware of those slight little movements and the slight feelings that come up for you, the little whispers of anything that you're about to do. And of course, this extends way beyond food. It also goes into our conversations. Should I say that? Is that a lean in comment or is that a lean out comment? And in that little flick of a second, we can hear that intuitive little nudging of, nope, don't say that. And I've learned the hard way over the years to be, many times it's better to just not say it if you're not sure. But how do we use it, of course, for the health choices in all things, right? Should I get out and go for that walk? Yes, that's a lean in. Should I stay on the couch and sip on my cup of coffee because, I'm kind of tired today and I don't really want to go outside? Listen, is that a lean in or is that a lean back? So, there's always ways that we can hear the messages that our body is telling us and our mind, but mostly our heart, right? Getting back into our heart, getting out of the head into the heart and being in alignment. I always say, listen to your heart, let spirit flow and ego go. And one last thing I want to end with is I picked a card today from these law of attraction wellness cards that I have. And I thought, this will be timely. And I want to share this on my talk. So it says, when my thoughts chronically feel good, my body thrives. We cannot begin to address your physical body without addressing your non-physical roots, because you, in your physical body, are an extension of that inner being. When you remember that feeling good is natural and you make an effort to find the positive aspects of the subjects that you are considering, you will train your thoughts to match the thoughts of your inner being. And that is of tremendous advantage to your physical body. For when your thoughts are chronologically good feeling, your physical body will thrive. So I hope that was helpful and that there were some little nuggets there for you wonderful people this morning.
That was awesome. It's so informative too. Thank you so much, Judy.